Visibility series for entrepreneurs. Hello and welcome to Show Up, Stand Out, online visibility series for entrepreneurs. I am delighted today to introduce you to a digital nomad, Braden Wallake, all the way from Ohio. Am I right?
That's right.
And yes, so Braden travels the world with his dog and runs his business off his laptop. This is the dream life. This is my next step life style. So I am so delighted to pick his brain and find out what are the elements and how do you do this? How do you cross over to that wonderful world of travel? So Braden, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. Tell the audience about yourself, for those people who don't know you. What's your background and like just in general who you are?
Sure. So let's see. So I'm from Columbus, Ohio, which is right in the smack dab middle of the U.S. We don't have beaches. We don't have mountains. We don't have really anything. We've got fast roller coasters. That's pretty much what we're known for, and American football. That's what our little city is known for. So my entrepreneur journey actually started a few years ago. I went to university a couple times, kept dropping out, realized it wasn't the right path for me. Then I worked at a bank. I didn't enjoy the bank, and I just quit. And on that note, when I quit, I was like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to work for myself no matter what it took. Spent some time without any money because welcome to the entrepreneur life. Homeless for a while, living out of my car, living on my friends' couches and floors and stuff like that until about the end of 2016 when things started really picking up. And then at the beginning of 2017 is when I began my digital nomad journey. I began in the Dominican Republic for 2 months, then spent 4 months in Ecuador, 4 months in Costa Rica, and then 2 months in Nicaragua all of last year. So
fantastic. And what is your business? What did you come up with?
Yeah, so originally my company was built around helping companies, entrepreneurs, influencers grow their Instagram accounts, a natural, real way to make sure that no matter how much you were posting and stuff like that, we could still get you the followers so that you're an influencer. You could get the, deals with, let's say, beats like are on your head or, or stuff like that. That was it. But as well as help companies grow their followings, if they're a hiking company or whatever, kind of grow those followings really targeted. And then we kind of switched to now helping people grow their all different social media platforms all on autopilot. So your Facebook or your LinkedIn or your Twitter or your Instagram, the main four is what we are all about over here.
This is an interesting, you just said one magic word there, autopilot. Everybody wants to grow their, let's say, Facebook. Let's talk about Facebook because, I'm a Facebook girl. I don't really actually, at the moment, I'm not present much everywhere else because Facebook takes time and Facebook takes care. Like you have to love it and you have to give it a lot of yourself.
Definitely.
So, the autopilot it's not really the autopilot as such, because it's still, you need to still come up and show up.
Right, exactly. So the autopilot just helps push that the little extra further, just a little bit further. Get yourself a little bit higher in that super complicated Facebook algorithm that we hear all the time. But, mostly Facebook is about nurturing those relationships and being yourself and just going out there and putting yourself out there. I put a post up just a couple days ago that made me super vulnerable. I talked about, some things I struggle with my life, and that's what people really resonate with. I think is like the biggest thing. I've noticed that I used to be one of those people who would go in and do those cliche motivational quotes on Facebook, and I was getting like 3 or 4 likes per picture or per comment and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, this isn't working. So maybe I should just try being Braden. And that's kind of what made the biggest turnaround in terms of my Facebook engagement, Facebook sales, everything on Facebook.
This is an interesting thing because a lot of people, when they're looking for clients, and trying to attract clients, they do think that you have to come across as a business-like, and at the end of the day, even in business, if you're meeting somebody, like Facebook is a social network in a true sense, it's social, like in a bar or, in a club or something. It's not a networking conference room. I always say it's not a conference room.
Right.
Stop pushing your business cards on people because this is where we hang out. But yet, how many businesses in the world started from a chat in the bar or something, just people meet. And I really think that when you get your head around this and say, okay, hang on a second. So this is what it is. This is how I do it. And you're becoming yourself because the best clients or the best relationships you get, they're always very personal. aren't they?
Yeah.
There's still some that you really like them, they really like you. You don't have to be best friends, but you are
Right.
somehow soulmates at some level, right? So that's your ideal clients.
Exactly.
And you get a chance to connect on Facebook with them. So how did you, in terms of your Facebook strategy, your own personal Facebook strategy, what do you do? What is the elements, like the ingredients here for you?
Sure. So the ingredients are, it's definitely a mixture. I like to think of Facebook as a relationship, as an actual like relationship with another person. Okay, you start to date a person. You don't want them to be boring, right? You don't want them to be too boring because you don't want them to be posting the same type of things over and over and over. You don't want to see just motivational quotes or just stuff about their business or just business proofs or stuff like that. Okay, that becomes really, really boring. You also don't want to date somebody who is completely out of the box, who is random this, random that, random all over the place. So what I like to do is I like to have a perfect balance. You know, I show client testimonials that I've gotten. I show people who have sent me messages saying, thanks, Braden, for being you. Thanks for helping me out so much. Thanks for this. But as well as a random something about a girl that I talked to on Bumble or something funny that happened throughout the day or pictures of my dog. You know, it's kind of that balance between business and fun. I'm known as like the shirtless entrepreneur because of how much time I spent shirtless last year. And every live video I did on my Facebook, I was shirtless because I was doing it from the beach. So I'm like, I'm not doing this in a shirt. Like I refuse. So that's kind of how the ingredients work for me. It's that perfect balance of how much of this, you know, your routine, your business oriented, or your, you know, like your destiny kind of stuff. And then how much randomness do you add in there?
But this is interesting as well because you're using your personal profile as well as your page, don't you, for a brand awareness like that?
Yeah.
And that is a very authentic way to use your personal profile, but actually you're kind of using it for business as well, isn't it? This is my whole system, the Fearless Client Attraction System, is based on this principle that be yourself. You are an entrepreneur, so you have a full right to scream about it. You know, this is not using the profile for business. It's just saying, this is me, look at me. Right? Or I can tell you what I know. And you're taking that a little step further, but you get a chance to connect to people and, you know, not just have followers, but not talk at people, but actually converse with people through your personal profile. And that's a huge thing. How did you approach yourself expanding your connections? Did it happen naturally, or did you have to go out and send friend requests? And how do you deal with that?
So at first it started naturally, just posting in groups that I felt like was a part of the people that I was, you know, kind of targeting per se, but also just wanted to connect with, period. And then actually, again, back to the whole hypersocial thing, my hypersocial now connects with people kind of automatically based on, you know, if I want them from a certain group or something like that, I can kind of pull them from that and it'll add them as friends automatically. And then I can kind of, oh, well, you're not actually somebody I want to connect with. Let's get rid of that one, kind of a thing, you know. If they're just not, if they're negative or whatever, that's kind of how that happened. And now it just kind of, I'm at the point where I can't really add any more new friends. So it's kind of this balance of erasing the ones who aren't and adding a couple more that are and accepting new friend requests here. And I'm very, very cautious now with anybody and everybody that I accept because I'm like, okay, you're taking up one of my last 20 slots. Are you worth it? You know, I have to go through and kind of vet them to become my Facebook friend, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I agree with the vetting process. And you know what, when I started, I always said, look, I need to bring my friends number to 5,000, you know, and max that up. And actually I've stopped when I was in 3,000, and I've stopped simply because with the algorithm, you know, so many people don't actually see your posts anyway. So you have 5,000 people, but not like you're only interacting with a bunch of people. And yes, and if you want more people to see your stuff, you have to get out of your way. I love these engagement bait posts recently, you know, I want to know if my friends can see me, please comment. And you're like, you want your friends to see you, go to their wall, go and like their comments. You need to do some work, you know.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I can be very weak, and it'll be a stranger that posts that I completely never talk to, and then I'll be giving out to them in the comments, stop doing this. but it's true, you know, you have to be active on Facebook, you have to come out. In terms of like approaching people, have you ever had to approach people for business, like send private messages on Facebook, or was it just attraction marketing that people came to you?
I can say I've honestly cold messaged or cold called maybe 5 people ever on Facebook, and they were like, that was because I saw them already. They were like in the comments, talking about some things that I knew that I could help with, and I was like, listen, I think I can help you with this kind of a thing, compared to all the rest, which has just been, live, just getting to know me on live videos. I think that's like the biggest thing, is just me going out there, and just commenting on their stuff and giving them the positivity, like actual genuine positivity, not like great, wow, cool, stuff like that, but actual genuine positivity, feedback. They can come talk to me on my live videos and see what I'm all about, and see that I'm really, really goofy and, fun. And I just like to have, I like to laugh a lot. And stuff like that. And people got to really know me, and they're like, okay, what do you do? Like, what is it that you do? Why are you so happy? Why are you so you? And how can I be a part of it? How can I support it? How can you help me? Kind of a thing. So it's basically 99.999% attraction marketing, and the other 1% is because I saw how they kind of fit the ideal client.
So it's an interesting thing. It's an attraction marketing, right? But it's still you kind of reaching out first by going and interacting, let's say, with the live video or any other type of post. So this is a good tip for our audience. Don't necessarily go into a private message straight away. And in fact, a lot of it is spammy, and you might be feeling that you're doing something that is kind of spammy. I certainly don't like that. I don't like getting them, and I never can send them, but you can go and interact with people's posts. People love when they get comments on their posts, and especially if it's like a really nice, genuine, from the heart, big fat comment. They will fall in love with you straight away after that.
Yeah, I think the genuinity, I don't know the real word. I'm supposed to be the full English speaker here, right? Okay, the genuineness of going and leaving a comment, because it's public there for everybody else to read. It's not something private you're trying to keep behind the scenes. If you can't, at the beginning, if you can't say it out in public, you probably shouldn't be messaging it to that person. Like, you're not going to go onto somebody's wall, on their Facebook wall, and say, hey, you should check out my product or service, or you should check out this, or thanks for this, or kind of stuff. Like, you're not going to say that right away out in public. You shouldn't be saying it in private either. That's
true. But you know what? Sometimes there's one particular message I got, and it was a Sunday, and somebody was saying, how are you? And yes, what do you do? And I hate the question, what do you do? Because what I do is splashed all over my personal profile. If you have been to just saw my cover photo, you know what I do. Right. So I kind of said to the person, have you not checked my profile? He said, no, but would you like to know what I do? And I said, not on a Sunday afternoon. I have a video. I said, is it a live video? You're live now? No, I pre-recorded this video. I said, goodbye. Because this is just an example of this terrible spammy way of connecting to people on Facebook. Like, you have to respect, this is the social network. There is it has to be genuine. It has to be genuine, as it was in the crowd. And I understand not everybody is good with communication. But sure, I'm not perfect. Are you? I didn't grow up with talents and networking or anything like that. It's just being yourself, being your goofy self, that's all. But that's the best. That really is the best way. So basically what we're saying here, guys, is that be yourself, right? Whatever way you are, with all your quirks and whatever you are, imperfections. People actually like imperfections much more than someone who is trying to be perfect.
Yeah.
Because perfect is boring.
Perfect is boring.
Right?
Is that boring? That's why live videos are so good, even compared to almost pre-recorded ones, because you can't, if you mess up on a live video, like, you have to run with it. Like, people see that you mess up, you're like, oh, messed up. Welcome to me. Like, I'm not perfect, kind of a thing.
I'm the queen of that. In fact, I have a few videos out there that I did, recorded videos. I had to do sort of like little product videos for a company I worked with, and I'm horrible at recorded videos, and especially that my husband was recording us. So sometimes family work together doesn't work out. I was so stressed out. I ended up actually typing the 2 sentences and taping them under the camera and reading them, because I was too stressed out. But if I go live, doesn't matter. I forget something, doesn't matter. And I never make notes. So it doesn't matter, because that's the real you. If people were sitting in the same room with me and I forgot about something, it wouldn't even be, it's not a big deal, right? I have some people, some clients, and they would do public speaking. Like they would fill in, rooms with people who wouldn't even breathe when they're talking. It's so interesting. They'd be like, and yet these clients are afraid to go live because they think their voice doesn't sound well or they don't look well. Yes. And they capture attention of the audience like magic in real life. And I've seen something like this happening. I actually have seen them offline, and this is interesting. So guys, don't be afraid. It's not about confidence. It's not about how you sound, how you look. Like the world has to look at you and you're still the same as you are on the video, right? Well, maybe with a little bit of bright light, you can look a little bit better.
True, I need one of those. I'm jealous.
This is one. Yeah, it's one of the things I didn't go live. I didn't go onto any videos before I got everything sorted. And this is not perfectionism. I just really think that it's an experience you're offering your viewers as well. This is not fake or anything, and they want to look at a nice looking video.
Right.
As well, I find myself, maybe it's because I'm a visual person, but when I'm looking at something that I can't see the face, there's too many shadows. This video never has an impact.
Right.
But I mean, I haven't seen your shirtless videos, actually. Didn't get a chance. So that could also make an impact, but a different type of impact. So I'm actually surprised you're wearing a shirt on this interview.
If it wasn't so cold in here, I would not be. I
I have to wear furs. It's not real, but I have to wear furs. It's very cold. So let's before we wrap up, let's just talk a little bit about where can people follow you and just a little bit extra about what your company does and who. So what do people need for them to find you and work with you?
What do people need to?
What do they need or want? So what do you do for them?
Yeah, so our goal at Hypersocial is to help you. I mean, there's the reason we created the name Hypersocial, right? Hyper, when you're talking about something on your skin, like hyper means above. So our goal is to be super social. Our goal is to help people who do struggle with live videos kind of put themselves out there a little more. Some people aren't going to go out and send a whole bunch of friend requests because they're scared of what's going to happen. So we're going to do that for you. We can take that part of the process off of your shoulders, which then helps you with the rest. So you're focusing on the content you're creating, and you're focusing on the live videos, and you're focusing on the important stuff, the fun stuff of being genuine and being yourself. We're going to take the boring stuff, the necessary boring stuff off your hands so you can handle all that for you, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We've got different things for all the service offerings that you can go out there and help yourself be hypersocial. Perfect.
And it's a hypersocial.com or?
Yeah, so it's a hypersocial.com, but it's got a 1 instead of the I. So
right, okay.
Automated,
so nobody can hack you.
Exactly.
Right, Braden, thank you so much for joining me. I thought that we had a few good nuggets here, especially about showing up authentically and especially about how to connect to people. So take that on board, guys. This is something, have fun with this network. It's a good one. It's a really, really enjoyable one. There's so many amazing people here to connect to, really, really create these meaningful connections. That's what Facebook really wants these days. Right? So, we will see you in the next episode, and definitely check out Braden, check out his personal profile, and check out hypersocial.com. See you later, everybody. See you in the next episode. Thank you.